Imagine waking up to an unexpected medical bill or losing your job. These are just a few examples of life unexpected events that can easily take a toll on your finance. But what if I tell you that there is a way to prepare for these situations? It is called an emergency fund. It is an essential tool for everyone who wants financial security. But before you rush in to invest your hard-earned money, there are a few things you need to know. In this video, I will be sharing things that many people overlook when considering investing their emergency fund. If you want to make sure that your emergency fund is working for you, not against you, then stick around. This is not a financial advice, but I know you wouldn't want to miss this. The first thing you need to do is to understand the purpose of your emergency fund. When it comes to emergency funds, it is important to understand that not all emergencies are the same. For example, your car breaking down and a sudden job loss are both emergencies, but they require different amounts of money to handle. This is why it's crucial to understand the purpose of the particular emergency fund you are setting aside. The purpose of the emergency fund is to provide a financial safety in case of an unexpected event that could affect your income or increase your expenses. It is not meant to be a savings account for a large planned expenses such as down payment for a car or travel. Before you start setting aside money for your emergency fund, take some time to consider what types of emergency you are likely to face and estimate how much money you will need to cover up for the expenses. By having a clear understanding of the purpose of your emergency fund, you can set a realistic savings goal and make sure that you have enough money to cover any unexpected expenses that may arise. The second thing to do is to consider your investment options. When it comes to setting aside money for your emergency fund, one of the most important considerations is where you put the money. You need to find a safe and reliable investment option that will protect your funds while also allowing them to grow. There are a variety of investment options available for emergency funds, and it is important to understand the advantages and disadvantages of each one of them before making a decision. One option is a savings account, which is a low-risk investment option that allows easy access to your funds. Savings accounts generally offer lower interest rates than other investment options, but they are also more secure and reliable. Another option is a money market account, which is similar to savings account but typically offers higher interest rates. But money market accounts often require a higher minimum balance and may have limitations on how often you can access your funds. Other investment options include short-term bonds, certificates of deposit, and conservative mutual funds. It is important to do your research and consider the fees, risk, and potential returns of each investment option before making a decision. The third thing to do is to assess your risk tolerance. When it comes to investing your emergency fund, it is important to assess your risk tolerance. Your risk tolerance is your ability and willingness to handle potential losses. The main thing to keep in mind is that your emergency fund should be easily accessible in case of any unexpected event. While investments have the potential to yield higher returns, they also come with a higher level of risk. Therefore, it is important to consider the level of risk you are willing to take on before investing your emergency fund. It is important to remember that an emergency fund is not meant to be a long-term investment. Instead, it is intended to provide a safety net in case of an unexpected event. So you should aim to invest your emergency fund in a way that provides a balance between accessibility and potential return. Some options like high-yield savings accounts, money market accounts, and so on generally offer higher interest rate than a standard savings account, while still allowing for easy access in case of an emergency. Additionally, they tend to be low-risk options, which is ideal for an emergency fund. Overall, it is important to weigh the potential benefits and the risk of each investment option and choose the one that aligns with your risk tolerance. The fourth thing to do is to diversify your portfolio. As you prepare to invest your emergency fund, it is important to understand the value of not putting all eggs in one basket. Diversification of your emergency fund portfolio involves investing in a variety of different assets that are not strongly related to each other. By diversifying your portfolio, you can help to reduce the overall risk of your portfolio and increase the chances that you will have the liquidity you need when the emergency arises. There are many ways to diversify your emergency fund portfolio. This includes investing in different types of stocks and bonds. It is important to understand your risk tolerance before making any investment and to choose assets that are appropriate for your investment goals and your financial situation. For example, if you have low risk tolerance, you may want to consider investing in safer low risk assets like government bonds or index funds. If you are comfortable with high level of risk, you may want to consider investing in high risk assets like individual stocks or mutual funds. By diversifying your portfolio, it can help to ensure that your emergency fund is always ready to help you when you need it most. Last but not the least, always have a plan in place. Making a plan for the accessibility of your emergency fund is an essential part of emergency fund management. The accessibility of your emergency fund is how quickly and easily you can access your funds when needed. The speed at which you can access your emergency fund can make a significant difference in the outcome of an emergency situation. Therefore, it is important to think about the type of emergency you might encounter and the time you will need to access the funds. For example, if you are setting up an emergency fund to cover for unexpected car repairs, you may need immediate access to the fund. so it is best to have them in highly liquid accounts. On the other hand, if you are saving for a potential job loss or illness, you may be able to afford little longer access time, so you could consider investing in bonds. When making a plan for the accessibility of your emergency fund, you should consider factors such as the risk of your investment, the level of liquidity required, and the penalties for early withdrawals. It is very important to strike a balance between the risk and liquidity, as you don't want to invest your emergency fund in highly volatile stocks or funds that could lose value when you need them most. Additionally, you should think about how you will access the funds in case of an emergency. Will you need to visit a physical location, or can you access the funds online or through a mobile app? By thinking about these factors and creating a plan for accessibility, you can ensure that your emergency fund is readily available when you need it most. This is where we call it a wrap on today's video. Hope you learn one or two things, and if you do, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you will see more content like this. Till I come your way next time. Peace.